I'm not sure why I think it's important. I just know that it's important because we are, we're is it nature or nurture that makes us who we are? And I think it's a combination of both.
Hæ, ég heiti Lína Dóra Hannesdóttir.
Ég heiti Guðmundur Ragnar Frímann Vignesson.
Ég heiti Sandra. Ég heiti Marta María Halldórsdóttir.
Ég heiti Egill Sveinbjörnsson.
Okay, my name is Eric Olofsson, and right now we're sitting in the living room of my house on the farm, about a mile and a half west of Kandahar, Saskatchewan. Okay, this is called the Snorri West program. The young people from Iceland are coming here to meet with Western Icelanders who are descendants of Icelandic immigrants that came to Canada at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. It's an opportunity for them to experience our culture. In some cases, the Snorri participants are distantly related to some of us Western Icelanders, and some of them a little closer. This area is called the Vatnabyggd area, and Vatnabyggd in Icelandic means the lake settlement. And the Icelanders that settled here settled on the south shore, Fishing Lake, Foam Lake, Little Quill Lake, and Big Quill Lake. My Icelandic roots are fairly simple. All four of my grandparents were born in Iceland. I'm as Icelandic as any Icelander, the Icelanders that still refer to us as Western Icelanders. Well, my identity is I'm Canadian. I guess the first thing I wouldn't tell you is that I'm of Icelandic descent, but I am very proud of the fact that I'm Icelandic descent, and I had nothing to do with it, but I'm 100% Icelandic. My parents always taught me to be proud of the fact that my heritage was Icelandic, but they also stressed that we were Canadian, and as a matter of fact, my parents specifically did not teach any of their children how to speak Icelandic because they wanted us to fit in. For a long time, it didn't really make that. In my 20s, 30s, 40s, the fact that I was Icelandic really didn't seem that important. But my mother especially kept trying to get me involved or to teach me about it. And I really wasn't that interested, or I didn't want to learn that much about it. When your parents are gone, when they've passed on, then you want to find out more about your heritage, and then it's too late. So you have those. I'm quite willing to admit I should have listened to my mother when I was younger, but my daughter and my wife went over to Iceland, and I didn't really feel it was important to go. It wasn't sort of high on my list of things to do. When they came back and started telling me about it, it just got me interested, and then we did get the opportunity to go over to Iceland, my wife and I and a couple of friends. And when we were in Iceland, I got to stand on the ground that all my ammas and avis were born on. And as you can tell, it meant something to me. And so it's I've been back to Iceland 4 times since then. And in fact, last year for 4 months I lived in Reykjavik and went to University of Iceland to study more or to learn more about what it was like to be an Icelander living in Iceland.
They are so proud to be an Icelander, and it kind of makes me proud now to be an Icelander because they are so proud, even if they're just 1/4 Icelandic or less or more. Or
surprised me the most is how proud people are of their ancestors and what they left behind.
I'm thinking about taking interviews to people that are my age, my generation, Western Icelanders, somehow about their identity, their Icelandic identity, and how they see Iceland and what is Icelandic, and maybe compare that to what I find myself and my friends.
I find it fascinating how like people in the old days, so about like 1880, how they kind of were hoping for a better life here, and like kind of their situation back there and how they adapted to this, this country.
I had no idea that there were Icelanders here that spoke Icelandic, that had Icelandic roots, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. That we still keep in contact with these people, and they are interested in knowing more about us, and we are interested in knowing more about them.
The five Snorris that are here, they're all my Frendi and Franka, which is, in Iceland, they don't worry about, if you're second cousin, third cousin. It's, if you're cousin, you're a cousin. As I was saying earlier, as the sun was going down and we're looking out across the fields and like, why would I live anywhere else? This is where I was born and raised, and I left Saskatchewan for a few years, but I came back. This is where home is. I don't want anybody to make the mistake of thinking I'm so in love with Iceland that I want to reject my Saskatchewan heritage. I wouldn't, I don't want to live anywhere but Saskatchewan. At heart, I'm a prairie Saskatchewan farmer.